Welcome to Let's Talk Relationships Coast to Coast. Hi, Chuck.
Hello, Elissa. Good afternoon to you.
Thank you. Good afternoon, or good. Yes, it is afternoon there as well, I guess. So today we're going to really talk about our workshop next week, which we're having next Friday, and the focus is going to be using safe conversation skills in the workplace. So I'm really excited about doing this. I think it's one of our passions is bringing this kind of healthy communication into the workplace.
Actually, yeah, it is. It's one of the reasons we started working together, both coming from the world of working with couples and helping couples have safe conversations. And then we both had this interest in how can we help organizations with these skills?
Right. And so I think sometimes people have this question. If I'm attending this workshop and I want to bring these skills into my workplace with different people that I work with, my colleagues, my customers, how do I do this when not everybody has been to the workshop, has had this orientation? So I want to touch on that now.
Well, let's do that because there are some skills that we'll learn, and we'll learn it in the context of all in the context of safe, what we call safe conversations, conversations where everybody's meaning is introduced into the collective consciousness between us, where everybody's perspective is considered, where decisions are enriched, where motivation is the highest that there can be. All of that is so good. But let me just propose an example. Here's one that I've seen with a customer service manager who had a difficulty with having a customer that wanted to return something. So here's the scenario for you. A customer with a problem has been referred to you. Your return policy says that an item can be returned within 10 days of purchase. The agent of the customer service desk refused to accept the return because it was purchased 14 days ago. The customer was upset and asked to speak to you, the customer service manager. When you arrive, it's obvious she is very upset. When you explain the policy, she looks down and says, "Fine."
Hmm.
But everything in her body language tells you it's not fine. So how would you use safe conversation skills in this kind of a context?
Right. So, what I would do is I would be curious. So I would ask this customer, you're saying it's fine, but I'm just curious. Can you tell me a little bit what happened here? Tell me a little bit more about that.
Great. That's a great first step. And turn on your curiosity and ask.
Hmm.
Hey, from the way that you said that, it doesn't sound like things are really fine.
Right.
I'd be interested in knowing more if
Right.
that is that if that's really the case. So that curiosity will just that energy of the curiosity makes it safe for the customer then to say, okay, maybe be a little more vulnerable and open up.
Right, exactly. So then as the customer starts sharing the story of what happened about the product and you know, the process of how they used it and wanted to return it, right after the allowed time frame. So as the story is unfolding, what you want to do is you want to really listen. You want that person to feel really heard. So we use the skill of mirroring. So let me see if I got that. You bought the product, with good intention. You really tried to use it, and then you figured didn't work for you, and it was just beyond the window of the return. Did I get that? Is that what I'm hearing? And then they'll say yes, and I'll say, is there anything more about that? And then, give the customer a chance to get the whole story out.
That's so good because if you realize that some experts have said that we hear like 13% of what someone's saying when they're talking.
Right.
But when you turn the tables on this customer and you listen to everything they're saying and you mirror, that's the skill. So just to summarize, you're saying, Elissa, ask, turn on your curiosity and ask,
Yep.
is that are things really fine? Secondly, when they talk, mirror them. Say, well, what you're saying is, did I get it? Is there more about that? And you just listen.
Yeah, because right there, they're having a different experience with your company than they normally do with other companies, other businesses. You know, people don't usually want to ask. They usually, just want to, quickly handle the issue, not let the person say more, not let it open up the door to more possibilities of complaints. But
Right.
by asking, we're really, really making it safe and giving them a different experience of our company.
Right.
And then after that, after we mirror, the next step is really to validate that person's experience. So based on what I heard you saying, you make sense. Makes sense that you can have that kind of frustration. Like you thought you would be close to the window and then you're just over it. And that is so frustrating. That makes sense. You would feel that way.
It makes sense. Now, it's very important, Elissa, because some people think validation is agreeing. And here the customer service manager definitely has a different opinion. They don't agree with the customer because they have a 10-day regulation there. Customer says it's only been 14 days. So two realities, two perspectives. So is validation agreeing with the customer?
No, I mean, we don't need to agree with someone to validate. We're validating their perspective, their experience, and their truth. We can really listen to the other and validate, which is really a strength that we can use with customers, with anybody in our life, to really, it calms the other person down to feel I mean, we all love to feel validated, right? So then all of a sudden our defenses go down, our aggression drops, and we really, we just kind of calm down and soften, and then we're dealing with, a different dynamic.
Mhm. The other objection I can hear is, well, who's got time for all this? But as we say in Safe Conversations, the fastest way to get where you want to go is to slow things down.
Right. Right.
And there can be so much to come out of it if you'll slow down and take time with another person. We're using the example of a customer in this case, but it could be a coworker, it could be a boss, it could be an employee,
Mhm,
someone on the job.
mhm.
So to summarize, you're saying ask, be curious. You know, from the way you said that, I don't know if it doesn't. I don't. It doesn't seem like it really is fine. Uh,
Mhm.
I'd be interested in knowing more with curiosity.
Right.
So then mirror. What I hear you saying is, did I get it? Is there more about that? And then you use the third tool called validation, where, even though I may see it differently, you don't have to say that, but you make sense. It makes sense that if you thought you were within a reasonable window, that you would expect a refund. That makes sense.
And I'm feeling, just putting myself in the role as this person, as the customer service manager, I'm feeling more calm and relaxed too,
Mhm.
because I have a strategy that I know is going to make my customer feel more positive about my company, about me, not, because there's often a contentious thing happening here. So I may be liking my job more. I'm liking this more. I like to be a problem solver and not someone that upsets people, but do it in a way that really, gives us, like a good image. People, that company, they were nice people. If that kind of stuff happens,
That's good. I like that.
that's really what you want to have, where everybody is winning. It's really a win-win all around.
Yeah, it is. It's like the customer service department is like the complaint department, and
Yeah,
you're turning it into the truly customer service department where you're serving the customer.
yeah.
So then the last part of this is the response. So after I've mirrored, I've asked the question with curiosity, I've mirrored, and I've validated the other person. Now I have to respond. And here's the way I would recommend doing that. The way I do it, and the way the skill defines it, says, I have a somewhat different take on this. Can I give you my perspective?
Right.
And see, like you said, if they're calmer, if they have become more relaxed and open, then they may be open to hearing from you.
Mm-hmm.
And I could see as a theoretical customer service manager, two responses. One is, I totally get what you're saying, but my hands are absolutely tied. I have no recourse. I cannot do this. And let's say it ends there. She still could be upset, not happy, but you've gone a long way to make it a better connection. And I've seen situations like this where they have turned around and become, there's much more positive ending, even when there's the no that you have to deal with.
Right.
The other scenario, which I think if you're out there and you're listening as the customer, you'll appreciate, would be, as customer service manager, I could say, I can't set a precedent this way, but in your case, I'm going to make an exception, and I'm going to give you the refund. See, because actually talking may loosen me up too, and I may have a little more bandwidth to give, even though my boundary may be really set in the workplace. So,
Right.
so when you feel the connection, there's a give and take with boundaries, and things can work.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. So, yeah. So that's what we're going to be talking about at our workshop next week, next Friday, April 9th. What time is it again? It's
9 o'clock at Pacific time, 12 p.m. Eastern.
Yep. And everything in between and around, as we say, right? So
In between and around.
thank you so much for listening. And we look forward to seeing everybody there. It's going to be fun, as you can see.
Yes, and we'll put some information in the chat box there, so you can see how to find out more information and how to register.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Elissa.
Bye.
Bye.